Hey everybody. I am live streaming right now. It is Thanksgiving Day. I am wandering around the suburbs of my parents' neighborhood. I just wanted to say thank you everybody for being my patron, and I just wanted to kind of like talk a little bit about what I have coming up, answer some questions, just be a guy talking at a camera right now and performing right now. It's kind of weird. So I just got some beer, some Brooklyn lager, because just want to contribute to my family's like Thanksgiving. It's gonna be a small Thanksgiving, and anyway, so the things that I have coming up this next week, I'm going to be doing a YouTuber roundtable, which is going to be kind of a fun little thing that I'm going to be doing in London, Ontario, which is a place in Canada, I've been told. So I'm going to be going to the Great White North, second time in Canada ever, which is crazy. And there's going to be like Tyler from Music Is Win. There's going to be Jared Dines, Stevie T, I think is the guy's name. Yeah, Stevie T. Anyway, he's going to be doing that next week. That's going to be fun. Is there anybody there? No, there's nobody there. Cool. All right. Well, I'm just going to be talking more about stuff. So that's going to be next week, and it's going to be kind of weird because I'm not really in that metal community at all. I'm kind of in a jazz community, and Glenn Fricker actually was the person who invited me up there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be the lone bass player and lone jazz guy in a sea of like metal guitarists on YouTube, but we're going to be doing some live streams and things while we're up there. And I'm already winded because I'm out of shape. And so this is my old neighborhood. It is a Maryland picturesque scene of suburbs, and I guess, there's a reason why I wanted to go to New York, but at the same time, this was a great place to grow up. I'll show you right now my old house, or one of the old houses. This is the house. Hey, how's it going, Greg? That is where I grew up, and then we moved to another house. So, we're just wandering around right now, just ranting about kind of nothing, or just what I'm like doing in the next week or so. Not nothing. I have a collaboration with Ben Levin. Thanks, Greg. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I have a collaboration with Ben Levin coming up, which is going to be really fun. Ben is a great guitar player. He plays in the band Bentony, and that's going to be a really it's always a really inspiring sort of situation when we get together, because he always has some crazy ideas. I think we're going to be doing a few videos on ear training. So we're going to be doing things like singing over a drone, listening, like doing solfege exercises, a lot of practical things that I don't really talk about too much on my channel, and I think it'd be useful to have that sort of experience and useful to have those ideas. Ben's really great about coming up with these pretty far out there ideas, but they're always very inspiring. Yeah, and that's gonna be next week, and we're gonna probably do a live stream too, like a public live stream. But this is the Patreon live stream, so you guys can whatever, ask any questions, do any of that. Who knows if this is gonna be up on the internet after this, but for right now, you can look at my face with the, trying to get the lens glare in there. Ooh, yeah, look at that lens flare. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so other things I have coming up, doing another apartment sessions in a couple weeks. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be working on a Christmas song. That's gonna be pretty ridiculous. It's good. The Christmas song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I'm trying to do like a jazz reharm of that. It's going to be a whole thing. Just because I feel like it's important to have like some sort of Christmas content. Like last year I did a takedown on Vox. What is your favorite chord alteration? Depends on the context. Right now I've been digging on what Amy Nolte calls the chord that shouldn't work but does, which is a B7 over G, functioning as a dominant 7th chord, dominant 5/7 chord. It doesn't really work technically because the B7 has an F sharp in it, The F sharp is a major 7, and on a dominant 7th chord, the major 7 doesn't really have much of a function, but it does sound quite nice. And the reason why I think it sounds quite nice is because the B7 has a auxiliary diminished function to the tonic. So that sort of B7 resolving to C, or B resolving to C, has a really nice resolution, even if it's not a dominant 7th resolution, but it's still has a lot of pull to the tonic. So it's this interesting sort of combination of the tonic resolution of G7 resolving down to 1, but you also have the B7 resolving to 1 also. So it's 2 separate resolution patterns, which is exciting. So I think it's exciting. So I saw her video like today, and I just started playing around with that a little bit more. Something that I've messed with before, something that's even stranger than a B7 resolving, B7 over G resolving to C is a B major 7 over G resolving to C, because then the major 7, which is the A sharp on the B7, is kind of like the sharp 9 on a G7. And that A sharp can then resolve down to, quote unquote, down to G sharp, which is the 6 on a B major 7, which is the flat 9 on a G7. And then that resolves down to a G. So the tension resolution of a B major 7 over G resolving to a tonic C chord can be quite exciting. I like that one. Well, so that's my theory for the day. I'm all theoried out. No more theory. Or more theory. Anyway, if anybody has any questions about theory, that would be awesome, because that is more in line with the branding of the channel. Yeah, so like a couple more videos that I'm working on. One video is on what is the most difficult piece of music ever written. And I'm going to try and answer that question. And I have a good idea of what the most difficult piece of music ever written is. But, you know, it's kind of a, you know, clickbaity title. But, you know, I want to go into the history of difficult music. And, you know, what does difficult really mean? What does complex really mean? And then just kind of get into the ideas behind difficulty and complexity in music, and why that's something that we might want. And it's not a means to an end, but it's also a thing that is really interesting. So, have you ever had the opportunity to meet Michael Martin? No, I haven't. I don't know who Michael Martin is. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, so like complexity in music, that's a big thing. So that's gonna be one video. Another video I'm working on is on musical train wrecks. So like what happens when like a band just falls apart on stage. And I find that fascinating because it's happened to me so many times. It's a terrifying thing, but you know, just the mindset necessary to get past a train wreck, also how to avoid a train wreck, and what you need, what you need to be psychologically okay afterwards. So, oh, it's retracted. All right, well, whatever. Yeah, so anyway, if you're just joining me, I'm walking around Maryland. There's Maryland. It looks pretty Marylandy. Just suburbs covered in trees. I do like the trees aspect of where I grew up. But I'm answering questions and talking about things I'm coming up with, and just in general, thanking you guys for being patrons. Because really the only reason why I can like make videos as often as I do and like go in depth as much as I do is because I now have a kind of a basic income, which Patreon guarantees, and that's really cool. I'm very lucky that I have that opportunity, and you know, it's kind of surreal almost, but I definitely am very appreciative of the support that you guys give. Yeah, you know, like a lot of other YouTube channels have a lot of other people working for them, and I don't. I do everything myself, which is stupid, but I'm really trying to like expand and make it so that other people can like help me out with some things that, you know, I might want to scale and help out with. But anyway, thank you is the point that I'm trying to say. I'm mumbling right now. Yeah, so other things that I'm working on. We have another video, which is going to be really wild, called Ocular Resonance. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Ocular Resonance. If you want to search ocular resonance and, you know, figure out why that's going to be so why it's going to be a wild subject, definitely do that, because ocular resonance is going to be a video that I'm going to probably spend a lot of time on, and it's going to probably not do like super well in terms of numbers of views, because, you know, my Tartini Tones video is probably the video that I spent the most time on. It took a ridiculous amount of time to research that stuff and understand it and like set up. And, you know, like, it did all right. It was okay in terms of number of views, but, and I, you know, kind of have to alternate between like things that I know which will get a ton of views, like, what is the most difficult music? Oh my God, somebody's gonna click on that. And then, you know, Tartini Tones, like, who really cares? I care a lot. I care a lot about everything, but, you know, I kind of have to make sure the balance for some of these things is like half clickbaity, half like for Adam. So, and also for like Patreon people, because it's really the Patreon, it's like people who support me on Patreon. You know, I feel like that's the sort of thing that people really want, is like the in-depth, intense stuff that I'll like put together, but at the same time, like, it's, you know, everything's a balancing act. So, yeah, those are the things that I have coming up. At least 4 big videos planned, plus like a sprinkling of Q&As, and Ben Levin is going to do a How Not to Suck at Music with me. So what that's going to mean is he's going to help critique people's playing with me. And the reason why I'm going to have him on there is because a couple of people sent me videos of them playing Bent Knee songs, and he's a member of Bent Knee. So I think it would be kind of cool to have a member of Bent Knee critique their playing of his own music. I think that's really cool. Whenever people have submitted or like sent to me videos of them playing my music or like arrangements that I've done, it's really flattering. One, really flattering, and 2, you know, they're really good. Whenever people like send me those videos, I'm like, damn, you're playing my parts like way better than I am. I should probably like get better at it or something. Yeah. So if you're just joining me, doing a Patreon live stream, wandering around Maryland, a lot of lens flare. Lighting is hilarious, but I kind of like it. Super artistic. Oh, look at that. Artsy. So if you have any questions, definitely send them my way. Yeah, so I am, my December is not like super packed right now in terms of gigs, which is good, because the past like year has been like an incredibly packed gig schedule. But December is going to be a lot more of like working on videos and stuff, which is good. Any suggestions? Come on, the API, or not API, UI, whatever. How do I get? Come on, questions. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Any suggestions for ear training exercise? Alex Burns asks. Yeah, this is what we're going to be doing with Ben Levin, or what I'm going to be doing with Ben Levin. Just ear training exercises. So that video will come up on Ben's channel a couple weeks from now. A lot of stuff with practicing over drones, singing over drones. I think that's going to be the way that I'm going to suggest practicing ear training, because I don't really talk about ear training that much on my channel, and I think I could stand to do that more. It's just that I haven't had a coherent system beyond just solfege, which is another thing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot more stuff regarding ear training, but a lot of practicing singing over drones. It seems like weird, but it really works. Where does one practice drums in New York City? And there's a bunch of ways. A lot of drummers I know have practice spaces, so they'll rent out a very small room in like Bushwick or something like that, and they'll put all their drums and stuff, and they can like play wherever they like for their heart's content. The problem is you know, it's like $400 or $500 a month just to have this like tiny little space, and so it's like this constant battle a lot of drummers have, like with sharing spaces, and you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass to practice drums in New York. My roommate, Sean Crowder, old roommate, had his drums. We had a basement apartment, so he could practice his drums down there. But he also had an electric kit, and he would practice all the time on that. So, yeah. Greg Larson writes, do you have any video plans for polyrhythms or polymeter, Meshuggah or the Contortionist? Not as not as much, although maybe I will fold in polyrhythmic analysis, because polyrhythms, it's interesting. Polyrhythms are not that complicated, they're just hard to play. I think that's the way I'm gonna have to like say that. They're not hard to conceptualize. Maybe it's hard to see them, but once you see them, it's easy to understand. I think that's the way I need to sort of think about it. So maybe I should do something like that, where I break down some Meshuggah song. I mean, again, Meshuggah is not complicated. It's just unusual. And I think that goes into the idea that I was saying, you know, what's the most difficult piece of music? You know, it's not complicated, it's difficult, because we're not used to hearing these sorts of polyrhythms. And once it's broken down and once you practice them, it's not physically difficult. I mean, it might be physically difficult for speed reasons, like Meshuggah's bleed or something like that. But in terms of being able to conceptualize what's going on, it's not complex. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of like rambling right now, but that might happen. I just I don't have a good idea of what that video would look like yet, and still fit with like what I want to say and what I want to do. So that's always kind of like the challenge, is like there's so many things that I want to do, but I also have a very particular way that I like to break down things. And it might be something like, you know, how do you improvise a jazz solo? I've already kind of done that video, but like I get asked that, you know, all the time. So yeah, any other questions or no? Woo. All right, well, thanks guys for hanging. This is been the end of my Patreon live stream, and until next time, bass.